Phone. So what you can do is type it out on your phone, notes, copy it, and then send it to either me or Coach Vosberg. That's what we can do for you right now. Huh? Canvas, yes, sir. So we're gonna go to Canvas. We're gonna go to. We're gonna go. You can go to either assignments or your to-do list. It should be there. If you go to assignments, you have to scroll all the way down, and it should say. It's gonna say, "Was farming a mistake?" Is what we're gonna do. Yes, go ahead and launch it. All right, so I'm gonna ask a few questions before we get into this. So, what do you think is? We've gone over a bunch of stuff through the past couple of weeks. I mean, past couple of days. What would you say is like some benefits of farming that we've gone over? Food source, good. What else? Brings more people for population. Huh? What were you looking for? Was farming a mistake? So we have food source. We have population growth. What else? Yeah, stuff like we've talked about, like things that came about. Culture. So we have culture being medicine, better maybe. What else? We've gone over this for 3 days. Come on, guys. What else came out of it? What did we get from farming? Trades. Okay, so we started trading, right? All right. Give me another one. I need one more. Just something of benefit, something that's good that came out of farming. Jobs. Okay, good. All right. Can anybody give me, top of their head, some negatives? What's some negatives that came from farming that you can think of? Okay, so the environmental problems. Good. What else? Time? What do you mean by time? Okay, so you have to be a more complex social group because you have to be able to arrange yourselves. Good. What else? What are we going through? Okay, fighting. We have more fighting because of raids, things like that. Good. What are we going through right now? Pandemic. Okay, pandemic. So how do you think that started? Okay, and when there's a large population group, what happens to a virus? Spreads. So disease becomes more prevalent inside farming communities. Rodents, yes, good, because grain. Rodents love to eat grain. You have that. What else can you think of? Good and bad. We'll back to good and bad. Do you think we'd have if we just kept hunting people, we'd have like technology? We'd be able to like click buttons and yeah. So we developed language. We've created technology, stuff like that. So those are some of those good and bad things. So the gist of this writing assignment is to try to figure out your opinions. Do you think it was a good thing that we started farming, or do you think it was a bad thing we started farming? So this historical perspective is a little bit under that. So you can't find it? Okay, where are you at? So go to assignments and then scroll all the way down. Well, you actually might not have all that. So go to assignments and it should be was farming a mistake. And it might even be in your to-do list.
Oh, there it is.
Awesome.
Oh, it's because it's a major.
Yes, it's a major. All right. So we're gonna leave these. So we have a few historical perspectives, some researchers, some scientists that are giving their take on why it's good or bad. So scholars of prehistoric life disagree about benefits and the cost of the development of agriculture and pastoralism. Pastoralism is basically like grazing animals, like domesticating cows, sheep, stuff like that. Biologist and geographer Jared Diamond called the development of agriculture the worst mistake in history of the human race. He argued that reducing the variety of food in people's diet increases malnutrition. Relying on fewer food sources made people more susceptible to famine. Living in concentrated settlements increased everyone's risk for disease. Together, Diamond concluded these changes reduced the average lifespan. Anybody tell me what the average lifespan, what that means?
About 78 years.
Okay, for modern humans, right? 78 years. How do you calculate modern lifespan?
You look at like people that are high.
Okay, so we have death rates. So do we look at child mortality rate and also elderly mortality rates, and then find an average, right? How long are people living? Young people and old people, right? And we find something in the middle.
Don't get young people get old.
Yes, but there's also young people that die, right?
Yeah, but it's like not from like getting from a disease or something.
Yeah, but so that still is calculated in the mortality rate or your lifespan. So back then, if we look at it, did they have a lot of children back then? No. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure? Because what were they doing? What do you need children for? What do you need a lot of children to go do? Work or farm, right?
Make them work.
Yeah. Nowadays, you see the least amount of that because you don't have to. You don't have to go work. So you have these different mortality rates. You have different mortality rates, and that all kind of moves into your lifespan. All right. So let's get on to the next one. In contrast, evolutionary psychologist, Steven Pinker, argued that agriculture and pastoralism reduced violence. He cited studies that suggest that the hunter-forager societies had high murder rates and frequently warfare. These societies were dangerous because they lacked government strong enough to maintain peace. So his argument is that farming created more peace because it created more complex governments to protect certain areas as more of a deterrent. So if you have a large standing military, you're less susceptible to raids, and that means less warfare. Evolutionary anthropologist Jay Stock saw both negatives and positives. So he's kind of going in the middle. He sees it in both ways. In the Neolithic Revolution, from a study of 9,000 skeletons from ancient Egypt, he found that hunter-foragers who lived before the agricultural revolution averaged 5 foot 8 inches tall. Yeah, well, I mean, that's actually pretty tall for that time period. However, those who lived in the first several thousand years after the development of farming averaged 4 inches shorter. Still, he noted that the long-term benefits of agriculture, without the surplus of food you get through farming, we couldn't have runaway technology innovations we see today. So what does that mean? What does surplus mean again? We talked about this. So you have a big supply of that. So if you have a large supply of something, you have a lot of free time, right? Because I don't have to go hunt. I don't have to go do other things. I can focus on my craft, whatever I'm good at. So, all right. And so so what we want you to look at this in terms. So take the facts in here. Read so the instructions say, from the following excerpt, which is the reading, gather an opinion for or against the question, was farming a mistake? Support your stance with at least 3 concrete facts. 2 can be used from the reading, so they need to come straight from the reading. And 1 has to come from your notes or from your brain. But what we want you to do, instead of just listing facts, well, this person said this person said this person says this, actually explain why and why this concrete fact supports your opinion. All right? You guys got it? And then you guys will have 15 minutes is what we gave?
The last class, yes, sir.
So you guys have about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back together and we'll talk about this. Yeah. You make it good. There's no direct. This is how many we want.
Minimum is 3.
Yeah, minimum is 3.
You're listing 3 facts. But then when you get into the concrete facts, it's all about how much extra information you add to support your statement.
Because if you just give me bullet points, well, this is the fact, this is the fact, this is the fact, and no support, then you're not doing what we want.
Think of the idea. What's the word concrete mean to you?
Cement.
It's solid, right? House is built on a concrete foundation, holds up the whole house. So if I build it on a soft foundation and I don't concrete my facts in, then my essence is probably not real solid. Okay.
So go ahead and just, you can reread it as you want, and then start making your own ideas from it. Yes, sir.
No, it's just
Okay. So you can might be in your to-do list also. So which one did you say? Click it. Launch external tool. You have that. Begin. Got it. And so you will get 2 attempts on this. So write your first one, submit it, and then we'll go over them. And so you can write a new one.
Just go to the bid, yeah. Use this swim with dolphins, beaches, mosquitoes, and stuff like that. Numbers. Found out where the filter is.
Oh, there's a filter.
Down there and then like coffee machine. Stick it in, put the motor inside the deal, make sure it's turned to the top right hand down. And push, like fill it up with green. And then fill it up, all the way up there.
Yes, sir. Wait, let's have any problems. That'd be good.
Yeah, but I don't, I mean, like, within that 5 minutes, they're not gonna, what I was gonna do after I do this, is don't worry about doing another submission on this one. I'll look on my message board, go through there and see if there's a way to do it. Because I understand the ones that what it is for correct.
Yeah.
It's actually completely graded all, you have time during the conference period to sit and read them all. Then if they make below 70, then they can go back and correct it. So what I want is for them to, so basically what you don't want them to do is submit it. You want them to type it and leave it. Don't hit the submit button. And then they recommend it. And that's how it's going to have to work as compared to truly submitting it.
Okay.
And then I want to see if there's a way that you can submit it. Like in Google Classroom, you turn it in, you can unturn it in. And I can send it right back to them. So I wonder if there's a way that I can return their submission to them.
I think I just think that just give them a check. We do a second check. It'll give you.
But there's not an autofill deal.
Yeah, yeah,
It's autofill 100.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, or autofill 70. So I'll set this kind of play with it and see what's easiest. If it was classroom, I know exactly what to do. So I'll read it, I'll turn it back in and see. I haven't done this to know what it is. It's the same. I can't do it. I know.
Yeah.
Should have looked at it.
Mm.
If you want to do it like we was gonna do it. Has anybody already submitted this? I could go through it and just pick two of them to read and then just discuss whatever you wanted to. So like on the last class, what I was doing was, I was just walking by, and kind of visually looking at the amount that we written, how the content was, and then picked out those two kids. And I already knew, like, I you had one paper, but I already picked out two kids that I knew one was too short, so I listed the facts. And I was kind of run on them together.
Yeah, just all that.
Yeah, but it landed flat. So then I knew I wanted this and this together, but I already picked out two kids that I wanted to do. You can look on the moderate page, and if you didn't do that, that's fine. Just look at the kids' submission and kind of see.
Yeah, so I can look at that.
See which one you want to read. With that, so. Has anybody had any issues with, I don't think so, issues with keyboards not populating when they tap the text box? Somebody have a problem with that?
What is my email? It's for
Thank you.
no problem. Hmm. You have, what time is it? You have about 5 more minutes, give or take. Where I look. What? You got about a minute and a half left. All right, so everybody go ahead and submit what they got, if you haven't already done so. All right. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go through a few of these with you. I'm not gonna tell you whose they are unless you start laughing that it's yours or it's mine. Don't do that. So we're gonna go over a few things, and then I'm gonna give you some like our ideas and our expectation from what we read. All right. All right. So here's one. So it starts with, I think that farming was not a mistake because agriculture and pastoralism reduced violence. Also, hunters/gatherers societies had a higher murder rate than farming societies. Hunter and gatherer societies did not have time to settle down and form proper governments because they were nomads. While farming societies had time to settle down because of the farming to form proper government. In conclusion, I believe that farming was not a mistake. Can anybody tell me what they might think is wrong with this one? Any chance? So with this one, it's just facts. It's just straight facts. So we're just getting facts. Straight up. Just this happened because of this. There's no explanation. There's no reasoning why you think this is good or bad. You have to give it a little bit more context. It's because if you just say, I think farming was not a mistake because agriculture and pastoralism reduced violence. Okay, that's great, but why did it reduce violence? Or what is the outcome of reducing violence? So we just need a little more explanation, a little more fluff of knowledge, and a little more concrete evidence. Does that make sense? All right, so we're gonna go to another one. Where is it at? There we go. Where's it at? It was right here. Okay, there it is. It has mine on there. Here's another one that's kind of similar. No, it was not a mistake because one, we get better at it and supplies us with food for us to serve. Two, we have gotten ideas and created stuff to help us farm. Three, farming has helped plant and grow like stress, so we wouldn't be without oxygen. So with this one, we just have, well, this, no explanation. What we're trying to get from you is that we want you guys to think more abstract, just a little bit, give us more fluff, give us more ideas, create arguments that you make yourself through using concrete evidence. So if I'm trying to explain, well, farming reduced murder rates, right? So from the last one. So we look at, okay, so why did it reduce murder rates? Well, because it did blank. Instead of, so basically, everybody, like, in English, when you state your thesis, you're supposed to say, I think blank because of these three things, right? When you make a thesis, so you have, I think farming's good because of surplus of food, technology, and craft, a surplus of, not surplus, of technology advancement. So we have those things. So you'd use that as your concrete, those are your facts, and then through your body paragraphs, you would explain why, and then you would give evidence through what we read. That's what we're kind of getting you guys to want to go more towards instead of just giving facts with no explanation. If that makes sense. Yes? No? Maybe? Okay. So how many of you think that you probably should go back and look at this by any chance? Try to raise your hands. Like, who's going to go back? Because you have an attempt. Because everybody can get 100 on this if they just do it. What's the right thing, right?
Like with me, when I was in high school, I wanted to make 100, want to have a good grade, so I had to hear my mom driving at me and everything else. So if the teacher told me, hey, this is what you do to get 100 after I've done the assignment, I was like, all right, well, I could have done better on the second part, because I know I can put a little bit more fluff in there, and I'm good to go. I get 100. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna make sure that I can resubmit on there correctly, okay? So, good opportunity for you.
So I'd encourage all of you to go back, look at what you want, look at what you read. Look at what you wrote, look at what we read, and see if you can do a better job. Maybe give us more explanation. Maybe make your facts more complex. Maybe that's all you gave was explanation and no facts. But maybe you need to add some facts in there to support your evidence. So that's what I would suggest. I'm gonna try something. Do you want to try something for me real quick? Thomas. Just want to see if this will work. Can you guys access it yet? Does it let you just re-access it?
See, I'm trying to grade one. I did a test and graded mine.
Oh yeah, it lets him make a new one now.
It should have a resubmission button that's up there. So I can click it.
Yeah. I'll give you another chance. So you can go church and attempt. You can look at it. Copy it. Yeah. So you can copy that. And back. Then you can resume and then put it back in. Okay. Yeah, sorry. No problem. Okay. So I just tried something. They can when they do it. So when they do it, they can submit it, right? And then now, since we gave them a second chance, they can go back and do it again.
So here's my original submission. And it was great. So then, click on it.
So you can now begin.
Just begin it again.
Yeah, you can make it, and then what you can do is go back. You can look at your original template and copy it.
But you still have to grade it.
Yeah. No. To get this, to be able to do the secondary one, it doesn't have to be graded.
Okay, so how do we do it? Because I graded this.
Okay.
So let's try one without, so if I didn't grade it, what do you do?
Okay, I'll use somebody else real quick. So I didn't grade over here. So
There's just a begin button down there.
yeah, so they can just now go and just press begin.
Okay.
So let me go to somebody's. Hey Eric, do you mind if I use your Canvas real quick, or have you already started? Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, that works. So we go to Eric's. This has been graded. So his has not been graded. Do you mind if I see that real quick? Thank you. So where's that?
He was right there.
To do. What's that? Okay, let's just go back to dashboard. Form 3 assignments.
It takes a little bit to load.
It does take a little bit to load.
Slow all the way down.
Yeah. So right there. So we can go to launch external tool. So his hasn't been graded yet. But he can go down here and press begin.
Okay.
And so then so he can go to his attempt, you can look at his attempt, you can look what he wrote, you can copy that, and then you can just go and click begin and start a new one.
That sounds good.
So it works still.
No, yeah, that's a whole lot.
That's better than having to grade it. You don't want to grade it before you give them
Yeah.
a submission. I'm trying to see if there's a way to do it, an unsubmitted. Just give them that submission.
And if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to ask me. I'll be able to explain it a little bit better in person. I can read yours and then tell you what you might need.
So once a kid submits something,